What's up, guys? And we're back. And looks like, Hampton, we have a winner.
Randall Roars, you have won our giveaway. Congratulations, my dude.
Congratulations, Randall. Welcome back. Glad you made it in here to win the giveaway. So we'll go ahead and we should have your information, man. But if we don't, send a whisper out in case you might have changed addresses. And we'll get this sent out for you hopefully tomorrow sometime.
Yep.
So we'll go ahead and put that back over there. So, guys, it's a special day. It's May the 4th.
Right.
And me and Hampton, you know, we usually run an hour show. But like I said earlier on, and if you're just now joining us, we wanted to put on a 2-hour show for you guys today.
Yep.
So what me and Hampton are going to do, because you know we love our top 10 list, we're going to do a top 9 list. But that's only for the main series movies.
Yep.
So me and Hampton, we pretty much came to an agreement on how we're going to do this, because we both kind of agreed that, you know, some movies deserve to be really far down compared to the others.
And we will explain our reasoning for that because, again, on this, our opinion is pretty much lined up perfectly. Mm-hmm. We have the same reasons. These are reasons that a lot of people feel this way about the movies. So we're going to start at the bottom, work our way up.
Yep. And guys, make sure you guys are sticking around because we do have one more giveaway, don't we?
We do.
We do have one more giveaway.
No, we have two.
Two more giveaways?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
One of our giveaways today will be web credit.
I'm hearing behind the camera that we can give away some web credit. So, guys, make sure you guys are sticking around because we got two more giveaways. One's a physical item and one's some web credit, so you can maybe buy some Star Wars collectibles from us.
Oh, yeah. So, we're going to go ahead and start at 9. Now, for me, number 9, I'm going to have to go ahead and say it, and a lot of people may crucify me over this. It's okay, because I already know in stone what my bottom 4 movies are. So at number 9, I have to put episode 8.
I agree.
So
Last Jedi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when it comes down to it, with The Last Jedi, and honestly with the new trilogy, it's like they were trying to push for having these super powerful female leads, which they didn't take into consideration. Star Wars, we already have strong female leads.
Princess Leia, cough, cough.
Yeah, Princess Amidala.
Cough, cough.
Like, when it comes down to it, she was there. She fought at several points in the series. No one expected, Princess Amidala to just up and be like, look, I've been using a double this entire time. Give me a gun. I want to shoot some droids.
Yeah.
No one expected it.
In Attack of the Clones, she becomes a little, little
firecracker. Becomes pretty good.
Yeah.
And in episode 3, she does take more of a backseat role, but it's because she's trying to focus more on her political career as a senator.
Yeah.
And of course, she's pregnant.
My biggest issue with episode 9, honestly,
8.
Episode 8. My biggest issue with episode 8 was probably the fact that they tried to push Rose on you too hard.
They really did. It's like Rose came out of nowhere, which, don't get me wrong, I like the character of Rose, but it's one of those that she came out of left field, and like her whole adventure with Finn was fun.
No,
that's really all I got to say about it.
One thing I didn't agree with, and when The Last Jedi first came out, was the actress who played Rose. She actually got a lot of hate mail and a lot of like death threats and stuff like that. Guys, it's perfectly okay to hate the character, but do not hate on the actor and do not like give death threats to the actor because they're just an actor.
Yeah, they're doing their job. Their whole thing is to entertain, and they get paid to do these roles. You may not like the actor themselves because of like their views on something. I know a lot of people hate on Gina Carano now.
Yeah.
Because of how her stance on the whole coronavirus. We're not going to go into that. It's
way too political.
Way too political. Horse, stick, you get it.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, it is what it is. Like, enjoy the movie, don't enjoy the movie. Hate on the character, don't hate on the actor.
Right.
So, but yeah, no, when it comes down to it, episode 8 is just, it's like they were trying to put them on this grand adventure, and it just kind of fell flat for a lot of it.
Yeah.
You look at Rey and her interaction with Luke. You can look at it, and it feels like they are totally just trying to take Luke's experience on Dagobah with Yoda and put a slightly different spin on it. And
you're just switching the roles. That's all you're doing.
Yeah.
You're just making Luke Yoda.
Yeah. And I mean, when it comes down to it, to me, the best part of that was Luke and Yoda and their conversation when Yoda just sets the tree on fire where all the sacred texts are.
Yeah.
And it's like, that I could get behind, because you know what? It was Yoda. Yoda's just trying to be like, look, you still have lessons to learn, Luke. I'm here to teach you. And that was easily one of the better parts of the movie, was seeing that interaction, as well as seeing some of Rey's interactions with Luke. But overall, it just, I don't know, it felt
forced.
It did. And then, of
no
course...
pun intended.
Get out of here.
All right, guys. I'm no. It's my show.
So, but like, you have this whole, it gave the same feeling that Cloud City did in episode 5. Like, episode 8 and episode 5 felt a lot of alike in a lot of different ways. You have a base that is being sieged by the Empire. Well, the rebels escape to get to a base that gets sieged by the Empire. You have the Force user trying to reach out to someone and find them. And then Rey reaches out with Force to find Finn and all of them.
It's kind of like I've seen this somewhere before. Where was that? Oh, episode 5.
So that's a lot of my complaint with it. So we'll move on to number 8.
So number 8 is actually episode 9 for me.
Ooh, I'm going to say episode 7.
Episode 7?
So,
yeah, okay, I can see that.
Reasons being that with episode 7, again, it was a lot of stuff that felt really forced. Now, the way Finn was introduced, I actually really like that. The whole, he's there.
Former stormtrooper, don't want to do it kind of guy.
Well, he's technically still a stormtrooper, and he has that flash of guilt. And it's like, what am I doing? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? And you have that sudden shock for him, and he takes off his helmet, and then it's like, oh God, he's a person under there.
You know one character they really dropped the ball with on that movie?
What's that?
Captain Phasma.
Yeah.
They dropped the ball with her so hard, because I was really going into this expecting her to be like this, like, really hard villain to beat. And then she just kind of looks like nothing after she gets beat.
I feel like they did with her, like they did with Boba Fett. What are we going to do with Captain Phasma? Oh, just throw her in the pit.
Yep. Get her out of here.
And that is exactly what happened. Another thing that leads to the reason why I rank it so low. You look at when Rey gets a hold of the lightsaber.
Yeah.
She can wield it perfectly. Even Jedi take years of training, and some of them just aren't good at using lightsabers. One of the very first lessons that a Padawan learns as a youngling, they're not even technically ranked as Padawan, they're ranked as youngling, is the same thing that Luke goes through. He's got the helmet on, they've got the little droid flying around, they're blocking the shots, and that by itself is the very basics, is learning how to use the Force to direct a lightsaber.
Yeah, but nah, man, Rey over here is just like, oh, I'm a lightsaber wielder. I've been doing this for years, even though I just found out what it was.
And the thing is, the reason they go through that kind of training, yes, the Force is used to some extent to help guide their hand, but it's mostly so that they don't cut themselves to pieces.
Yeah.
Like, even Cat Bane is literally the only non-Force user that I know of that can use a lightsaber as well as he does.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So, I mean, yeah, you can probably go into the whole, like, and this is spoilers if anybody's not seen episode 9. You can go into the whole No, I mean like episode 9.
Oh,
That's
okay.
where I'm going with. You can go into like the reason Rey knew how to use the lightsaber because she's a Palpatine. That's why. But it didn't make sense. Like
It doesn't.
even Emperor Palpatine had to be trained.
Yep.
Like he didn't go into this knowing it neither.
Back when he was trained by Darth Plagueis.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things of they tried to give more of this fantastical spin, it seems, and that hurt the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Daisy Ridley, I honestly feel like she did an amazing job in her role. Like everyone did great in their roles. But it's one of those that when it comes down to it, they push for the wrong things. And that's why I feel like episode 7 is at number 8.
Okay. I can agree with that. I'll give you that one. Spoiler alert. It's been 2 years. It ain't spoiler.
If you haven't watched it by now and you're getting spoiled, shame on you.
Yeah, then if you haven't watched it by now, you're not a Star Wars fan.
So that brings us to number 7. Now, I don't know if you'll agree with me on this one, considering how low you wanted to rate.
Palmer just gifted out a bunch of subscriptions.
Well, there you go. Eskadoosh, Chris the Collector.
I wonder who that is.
Dapper Drabai, and Dredgen Yor.
Well, congratulations, guys. You're all now subscribers thanks to the Palmer.
Yeah, stick around. Watch us. Come back.
Yeah.
We do awesome stuff all the time. Yeah, no. Chris, not a sub? What?
Listen, I was subbed on my old account and I had to make a new one. I don't want to talk about it.
Well, sub on the new one too. There you go. Problem solved.
Well, I am now. Thanks to Palmer.
So, that is a lot of the complaint from a lot of people is that the new trilogy is a reskin of the old trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
So, my number 7.
Okay.
Episode 2.
I agree with that.
So, and the reason I say this, don't give me that look, sir. I'm getting ready to explain it. Calm yourself.
I think that would be 5 or maybe a little bit higher on the list.
No, calm yourself. I'm explaining. So, when it comes down to it, episode 2 was one of those that it had a lot of important stuff. The start of the Clone Wars, the fight in the arena, Jango Fett, losing his head. Puns, I'm here for them. Setting Boba Fett on his path and Boba Fett learning, hey, this is how you kill Jedi. That's why it has a flamethrower, for instance. I digress.
You got a little bit of
When it comes down to it, there was a lot of good about the movie, but there was also a lot of bad. And that is the budding relationship between Padme and Anakin. Padme doesn't seem that interested in it.
Oh my god.
And yet,
yeah.
Anakin keeps pushing for it.
Dude.
And for any of our ladies that are watching this chat, I know you can agree with me. There's nothing worse than a guy being really pushy about something you don't want.
Yep.
And that, I feel like that is a big part of what hurts. They just wrote Anakin so poorly in that. And that's why Hayden Christensen got so much hate. Turns out Hayden Christensen is actually a really good actor. Mm-hmm. I'm glad to see that he's being brought back for some of the upcoming series.
Yeah, which Obi-Wan series? Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Which if you guys don't know, Obi-Wan series is coming out. Disney Plus has confirmed that.
Yeah. We will be discussing some of the upcoming series once we're done with our top 9.
But my biggest complaint with Attack of the Clones is, okay, I love the war at the end.
Yeah.
The big fight between the Jedi and Stormtroopers and the droids, awesome.
Getting to watch Yoda break bad.
Yeah, love it. My biggest complaint, it's not a love story. Quit making this a love story.
Now, I understand that when it comes down to it, it is important to talk about how Padme's and Anakin's love develops. And something else that I think they do a really bad job at showcasing in the movie is the amount of time that passes in episode 2. Episode 2 takes place over the course of, I think it's 1.5 to 2 years. That is how long Anakin spends with her. That's why she ends up, letting that guard down. She stops thinking of him as little Annie. She starts thinking of him as Anakin, the Padawan. Anakin the man. And that is,
you wouldn't think
you don't
it
get
was
to
2
see
years.
that side. You don't see how she's actually reacting to it because they try to just focus so much on Anakin's interactions and how he's trying to push for it.
Well, you wouldn't
And-
think it was 2 years because of like honestly, the movie just felt like it was rushed a little bit.
And the thing is, you get to see so many of these things happening side by side. Like, for instance, Obi-Wan's whole adventure out to Camino, finding out about Django, all of that. What they don't really go into is hyperspace travel doesn't happen over the course of a few minutes. It takes days, weeks, or months, depending on where you're going.
Yep.
Because you can't just go from A to B. You do actually have to follow a set path. That way you don't fly through a sun.
There's a
I'm
reason.
sorry, if you fly through a sun at hyperspeed, you just die that much faster.
I mean, there's a reason it was called A Galaxy Far, Far Away. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying that's the reason the opening always says that.
So, like, and then, of course, there's the argument / fan theory that maybe Anakin was using the Force to influence Padme's decision over the course of that time. Just a little bit at a time, just a little push. So, you know, that'll be a debate for another time. Let's move on to number 6. So, my number 6,
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and have to say episode 9 fits in here.
Yep.
So,
You can't really rank that movie any higher, if you ask me.
I think had it been approached differently, and the whole series being approached differently,
Yeah.
I think that episode 9 by itself could be ranked much higher because there were a lot of moments in episode 9 where it just, one of the dropships gets blown up and it's like, did Chewie just die? And it's like,
It left you on a lot of cliffhangers.
Yeah.
Honestly, a lot of cliffhangers throughout the movie.
and then getting the confirmation that Rey was Palpatine's granddaughter. And it's just one of those that Disney had the Infinity series some years back. And of course, the team that was working on it put in a spoiler that Kylo Ren and Rey were cousins, which is what brought about the whole theory of Rey is Luke's daughter. That's not the case. That got clarified. And honestly, the characters of both Ben and Rey, I'm going to go over a small topic about that after our top 9, because
Okay.
as someone who's read the books,
Yeah.
especially some of the stuff that takes place during the Yuzhong Vong War and after in the original expanded universe, I was not necessarily happy with how they did these characters. I have more reasons than I'm saying for hating on these movies, and it's bad.
If we were to talk about why we hated these movies, we could make this into a 4-hour show.
Easily.
I feel like.
Oh, easily. So that's my reason for putting episode 9 there.
Okay. My reason is dude, why are you bringing back Palpatine? Shouldn't just been a bigger villain? There was no lead up to Snoke. What was Snoke?
So, okay. They did a poor job of explaining it. Snoke was one of the failed Palpatine clones.
Okay.
So, in the original expanded universe, in the comics, all that, Palpatine experimented with cloning. One of Coruscant's moons is a hospital. Like, the entire moon itself is a hospital.
Yeah.
So, during the Clone Wars, Palpatine had it repurposed as a new cloning facility, and he was slowly siphoning in new clone troopers into the Republic Army. They were about 1/10 as effective as the previous batch, and they just they weren't the specialists that everyone knew at that point. But by then, the war had already been going for about 7 years, and the clones only had a lifespan of 10
Yep.
because of how they were grown.
Yep.
So, yeah, they were like, 8 years old at that point, and all of them were old men.
Yeah. Because
So-
I mean, they had so much genetics into them and like so many like growth serums and stuff that like, I mean, honestly, they just grew like by the time they were 10, they were probably like 100 years old.
Easily. And that was the whole purpose.
Yeah.
So, in the original universe, Palpatine experimented with cloning and trying to clone himself. The problem is, you can't clone a connection to the Force. It's just not doable. So that brings up an issue. The one time he actually managed to get it to work, it wasn't on himself, it was Luke.
Yeah.
And clone Luke, big time bad guy.
So pretty much what you're saying is you can make a perfect warrior, but you can't make a Force connected warrior.
Correct.
Okay, that makes sense because of the midichlorians and stuff.
Yeah. So at the end of, episode 9, when Rey's walking around in that ziggurat, that's what you're seeing in those test tubes are failed Palpatine clones, which Mandalorian goes into all that. Turns out they're working on interconnecting everything, and I'm digging it.
So I didn't know that Mandalorian's actually going to start touching base on that stuff.
Because of the cloning. Because that is what they're experimenting on in season 2. That's why they need the child.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Because it's be too much to type out. But didn't in one of the books, didn't he actually clone himself and Vader?
So
and then that's how they were able to switch off and clone Luke as well?
So Palpatine was able to make successful clones of himself, but none of them were Force sensitive. That was always the issue. And it was him trying to find a way to truly attain immortality. Because in the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise, he could find a way to bestow life, but he couldn't find a way to extend his own. And, if you read one of the books, I think it's just called Darth Plagueis. It's solely about Plagueis and Palpatine becoming a Sith Lord.
Yeah, that makes sense.
His rise to power.
The books are nuts.
The books are amazing.
Oh yeah, the books are crazy.
I mean, Chewbacca's son is a Jedi in one of them. Like, there's one story where there's the first ever Wookiee Jedi.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, they're so cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's move on. So what are we on?
Number 5.
Number 5. What would your number 5 be?
So, I know that looking at this list, people are just going to be like, wow, these are the movies that you just really don't like. I'm going to put episode 1 there.
Oh, yeah. You got to put the Phantom Menace there.
So, Phantom Menace was one of those that, again, it's like, you look at some of the things that go on in the movie, and it's like, how does this make sense for story purposes? So, Anakin having, an idea of how to make the Naboo starfighter work, honestly, it makes sense because he's a pilot.
Yeah.
And then, of course, R2-D2's there helping him. So he's probably got a bit of autopilot going on there, but to an extent, he is using the Force.
Yeah.
The Force allows people to do stuff that they normally wouldn't be able to do. But it's only enhancing on abilities that you already have, not just being like, oh, you've never flown a ship before? There you go. Now you can.
And then you got everybody's lovable character, Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, so a lot of people just really hate this character because he seems pointless.
Well, he is pointless.
I mean,
There's really no point for him if you think about it.
he's the vote that causes the clone army to happen.
Yeah.
Like, story purposes, they exist. But beyond that, he doesn't really serve any real purpose other than, uniting the Gungans to help. And that's it. That's all he's got going for him.
I mean, he was comedic relief, but that was really all he had going for him, in my opinion. Yeah, I did laugh at some of his stupid parts, but when I'm watching a Star Wars movie, I don't want a bunch of comedic relief. I want fighting. I want Star Wars.
There's a time and a place for the comedy, and it's just that it feels like they forced it too much with Jar Jar.
Yeah, 100% forced it too much with Jar Jar. I mean, the first time you see him, he's almost getting ran over. And then, he starts, telling Qui-Gon that he's going to be his humble servant. And Qui-Gon's doing everything he can to get rid of the guy.
Still, one of the greatest lines to this day is, the ability to speak does not make you intelligent.
Yep.
Those are words I can live by.
I've heard that a time or two from people. Wonder why.
So, moving on. Number 4.
Man.
I've been suggesting everything. How about you hit me up with something?
I'm going to say A New Hope.
Okay.
I would have to put A New Hope there.
So I can definitely see it. I honestly agree with it. Put number 4 and number 4. When it
Nope.
comes down to it,
I did a funny.
A New Hope on its own was an amazing movie.
Yeah.
And it was written in a way so that it was its own contained story and there was no need to continue.
Mm-hmm.
They destroyed the Death Star.
That's really
They
all you had to
win.
do. Win-win, yeah.
And then lo and behold, it broke all box office records at that point.
Yep.
And the studio was like, hey, George, here's money. Make
Yep,
more.
make some more.
And lo and behold, there you go.
And honestly, the next 3 after that, I would arguably say are really good Star Wars sequels.
You mean the next 2?
Or yeah, next 2. Wait, are we on number 4 or number 3?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, we're on number 4.
I thought you were talking about out of the original trilogy, but okay.
Well, I mean, our next top 3,
Right.
you know.
But yeah, when it comes down to it, like, it was honestly really good. But for what it was, and with the overarching story,
Mm-hmm.
it falls short of what comes after it.
Right.
Because episodes 5 and 6 did so much more because they knew they could keep going at that
Yeah.
point.
And honestly, I feel like if you had just left it at A New Hope and you had just left it right there, you're leaving that on a cliffhanger, man.
Oh, yeah.
Because who's Vader at that point?
Yeah.
Like, we meet Vader, but we don't know who he is.
Well, honestly, we just saw him flying off in space, so why does it matter?
Yeah, so, like, why do we care about Vader, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I'm just glad that it built so much popularity that we have what we have today with Star Wars.
Yep.
Because we have movies, we have TV series, we have collectibles. I mean, we have a little bit of everything for Star
Video
Wars now.
games.
Video games. But, yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for A New Hope, we wouldn't have had what we have today.
Yep.
So that's why I'm ranking it high, but I'm not ranking it higher than our next 3 that we're going to talk about.
Yeah. So, of course, going into the top 3. At number 3, I am going to go ahead and say, and I know the missus will probably strangle me for this later, I'm going to put episode 6 there.
I agree with that.
And it's not because episode 6 was bad in any way. It's
No.
just that I feel like my other 2 options were just better at a higher point.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 6 brought in a lot of really good things. You get to see the Ewoks.
Yep.
I love the Ewoks. I love the Ewok Adventures.
Yep.
The movies, just for them.
Yep.
Wicket is all-time best teddy bear. But
I
like,
just love how they talk, honestly.
but when it comes down to it, like, of course, that was the end of the story. And again, it kind of suffered the same issue with A New Hope,
Yeah.
in that it was the end of the story. There wasn't any
No.
need for anything else. It
I'm
was
not.
all wrapped up perfectly.
I'm not gonna lie. First time I ever watched episode 6, I got really emotional towards the end
Right.
because like you're wrapping up the series that like I'm a little kid and like I've watched episode 1 and 2 and episode 3 hadn't came out yet, and then I watched 4, 5, and 6,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, oh man, you get to see Vader's face and stuff after he's already went through all the lava and stuff like that. And you're sitting there wondering, you're like, what happened to this dude? Because, like I said before, before episode 3 came out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting there and I'm watching it for the first time, and I'm really emotional watching it. And I'm like, man, this kind of hurts, you
Yeah.
know? Because like you finally see Darth Vader go to the light side, like he was always intended to do.
He finds his redemption.
Yeah,
And
but then he dies.
yeah. And the thing is, what Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan said wasn't wrong. He was the prophesied one. He
Mhm.
was meant to bring balance to the Force. He did, but
In
it
his
was
own
in
way.
the only way that it could be done
Yep.
at the time. Because you had millions of Jedi across the galaxy.
Yep. And they didn't say how.
And
he
then
was
you
gonna
had
bring
so
it.
few in the way of Sith.
Yep.
So, of course, balance was brought. That doesn't mean we had to like it, but hey,
It
That's
happened.
what
though.
happened.
Yeah, that's what happened.
for number 2, I am going to go ahead and put it here. Revenge of the Sith.
100%. I agree with
And-
that 100%.
It was the first Star Wars movie that I personally saw in theaters.
Mhm.
And it's one of those that everything is perfect about it. The music, the fights,
Yep.
the fight, Obi-Wan and Anakin, the choreography that went into that, the creativity that, the effects crew came up with to have them fighting through a melting mining facility.
Yep.
It's one of those things that it kind of baffles me.
Well, I mean, like I said, there was a reason I went and watched it 5 times in theaters when it first came out.
And it just, so much about it. Duel of the Fates. Like,
Yes. Oh my God, I love that song.
you can hear it, and just listening to it, you can feel the heart and emotion that the people put into that. They bring in master musicians to make the compositions for these.
Like you said earlier, you can give as much crap to Hayden Christensen as you want, but that man had so much emotion there towards the end.
So
He put so much emotion into it.
the thing is, when it comes down to it, like, he was given a bad rap because of episode 2. The script was not great for anyone.
No.
Let's just go ahead and be honest. The people that had the best script were Yoda,
Yep.
who was, CGI'd in,
Yep.
Mace Windu,
Yep.
and
'Cause it's-
Count Dooku.
Because Mace Windu. He's the best.
And Count Dooku, because he's also the best.
Exactly.
Rip Christopher Lee.
I love that man.
But, like, when it comes down to it, the acting was just on point for everyone. They were
Yes.
comfortable in their roles, and the heart was there. It was
My-
bringing an end to that story.
My favorite scene, and I'm getting chills just sitting here thinking about it. My favorite scene out of episode 3 is when you see Vader on the lava planet. I can't remember that lava planet's name. Mustafar. When he's got his cloak up, and then you see him slowly turn around to the camera,
And you just see that one eye is yellow.
and you start seeing the tear run down his eye.
Yep.
Because he don't want to do it.
But he
does
knows that
not
he
want
has to.
He knows that he has to do it. And it gives me chills. Like, I'm getting chills right now just sitting here thinking about that scene. It makes me want to go home and watch Star Wars. I'm probably going to go home and watch Star Wars now.
Probably.
But there was so much emotion there. And you could just know that he's just like dreading what he's doing because he knows that's the only way he can save Padme.
Yep.
Because he thinks that in his mind, oh, I have to slaughter all these Jedi because Emperor Palpatine's telling me that's the only way I can save Padme in childbirth. So it makes sense on why he's doing it, but it just hurts. You can tell it just hurts him so bad.
Yep. Well, we've talked about all of them. I'm bringing it to number 1.
Well,
There's only one option left.
before we do our number 1,
Okay, let's roll it.
let's roll it. Let's see who wins the Unmasked Vader.
Gerudo Bear, you have won the giveaway.
Hey,
Congratulations.
Gerudo Bear. Congratulations, man. If we don't have your contact information, you should be getting a whisper soon. If you change your address, please let us know.
So, like I said, the only one that's left. Episode 5.
Yep.
Empire Strikes Back.
My favorite episode, and apparently yours too.
So, I know it seems like a crazy thing. It seems like a complete switcheroo because number 8, which was the remake of episode 5, I ranked at the very bottom. Episode 5, the original, I ranked at the very top. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Honestly, yeah, everyone says it's the best. There's more to it than that. The story is just on point.
Yep.
Getting to see Vader just sitting there at the dinner table.
Oh, yeah.
That by itself, it was like, ah!
That scene always cracks me up because, like, as soon as they open up the door, Han Solo's just like, nope, I'm just going to start shooting.
And of course, with the revelation in episode 6 that Luke has a sister.
Yeah. And, it brings me back to that meme of anyway, I just started blasting.
Yeah.
That's what it makes me think with Han Solo there in that scene is him just like, well, I just started blasting.
And it didn't work.
No.
But yeah, like that, we get to see Boba Fett in action some.
Yep.
I can't help but love on my man.
Yeah, you got to love Boba Fett.
Of course, the Battle of Hoth was just,
Yeah.
for the time that it was done, that was amazing.
Yeah.
And it just, so much. So many good things. Lando Calrissian. If there's any gambling man out there that I absolutely love, it is Lando Calrissian.
Oh yeah, and that was
Good old Billy D. Williams.
that's something else I want to bring up. In those days, think about the Star Wars universe. How many people of color actors do you see in that?
Between all of the first 6 movies, 2.
Yep. Exactly.
Samuel L. Jackson for the prequels,
Exactly.
Billy D. Williams for the original trilogy,
And then Finn.
and then Finn. So yeah, we've had 3 token black men.
Yep.
Now, I do want to go ahead and say, before anyone is like, but wait, in the expanded universe as a whole, there are people of all different races and species. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw that one out there. But it's one of those that, think about for the time that it came out. Black actors were not a big thing for the big screen.
Yeah.
It could cause a lot of movies to do poorly, and it didn't. It worked. It was amazing.
Yep. Because you're still living into that day, and as much as I don't want to bring this up, but you're still living into that day of racism.
Yeah.
You're still living up to where black actors weren't getting jobs just because of the simple fact of what color their skin was.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yes, it's wrong. It's 100% wrong. You should never, never judge anybody off the color of their skin. But that was the case back in that day. And for him to get the role of Lando, that they could have easily just put a white guy in there, was amazing to me. That actually showed that George Lucas was wanting some variety in there.
Yep.
That's honestly what made it one of my favorite movies ever, is because you have Lando in there, and Lando just makes the movie, in my opinion.
He really does. It's like he's that perfect balance to Han Solo.
Mm-hmm.
Han Solo is that scruffy nerf herder, which before anyone asked, a nerf.
Who you calling a nerf herder? Who you calling scruffy looking? I mean, no, I guess you're right.
So before anyone asked, a nerf it's a type of farm animal. It's cattle. They're stinky. And think pigs, but sheep, but lizards. And you've got some kind of weird mix of animal, and they just kind of go on walkabout, and the herders have to go with them.
Hence the term nerf herder.
Yeah. But you've got the scruffy nerf herder of Han Solo to the smooth Lando Calrissian.
Yep.
He's billionaire playboy philanthropist.
And a gambler.
And a gambler.
Great gambler, by the way. I mean, he won the Millennium Falcon at one point.
Yeah, until Han took it.
Yeah.
But that does do it for our top 9. Now, we do still have a little bit of time left. During that time, I'm going to go ahead and give away our web credit.
A web credit giveaway does sound good. So, guys, $25 web credit giveaway. We'll keep it short and simple. We'll just use the keyword Star Wars, since it's May the 4th and it's Star Wars Day.
Yep.
So, May the 4th, Star Wars Day, we'll use the keyword of Star Wars and win $25 web credit. Buy any of our Star Wars collectibles we may have.
Or anything you may want to get on our website. Now, so when it comes down to it, let's go ahead and talk about the expanded universe. Things that are going on.
Yep.
I know one of the big things that I'm super excited about, because if they go this route, especially, okay, let me preface this some. There has been a lot of rumors going around that the new trilogy is getting thrown out the window. I will say that the new showrunner and writer for all that has said, no, they're not getting rid of the new trilogy, but they may switch things around.
Yeah.
That is going to be its own expanded Legends canon. When Disney took over and they bought Lucasfilm and LucasArts and Lucas Books,
Yep.
3 companies under the Lucas name, Lucas Books was dissolved altogether.
Yep.
LucasArts was dissolved. That left Lucasfilms. So a lot of writers and authors that had contracts at the time had their contracts dissolved. Karen Travis is a perfectly good example. She wrote the Clone Commando novels.
Yeah.
She also did a lot of writing
Yep.
for Republic Commando, the video
Yep.
game. One of my favorite video games of all time. Thank God it got a remaster for current gen. Oh, so happy. Been
Right.
burning that up. I've already gone through the campaign a couple times. Super happy with it. And I want to point out the amount of passion this woman put into the books. She helped to develop the Mandalorian language. Like, there is a full language to it.
Yeah.
And, like, insults, titles,
Yep.
everything. Like, full grammatical syntax. I've seen people from, like, the 501st and the Mandalorian Mercs cosplay groups go to conventions, especially with, like, Mandalorian Mercs, and some of them will actually just converse in Mandalorian.
Oh, that's cool. That is super cool.
And it's an amazing thing. But then the last novel that she did, the last two, was Bloodlines, which was part of the New Jedi series. Which I'll get into that in a moment, because this is why I'm super salty with the new trilogy. And then the 501st Imperial Commando,
Yeah.
which takes place immediately after Order 66.
Yeah.
Authors like her had their contracts canceled. So it turns out the Republic Commando novel was originally supposed to be 3 books. They were like, hey, we want you to do another one. Call it Order 66. And we want you to take the commandos that you've written for us and take them through their journey.
Right.
She did it. Hey, we want you to bring us a new trilogy of what happens after.
Right.
Some of the commandos got away. They're living on Mandalore
Yeah.
at that point, the home planet of the Mandalorians.
Yeah.
Whereas some of them get conscripted into the 501st. And it's about their struggles for the ones that got to Mandalore, trying to find a cure so that they don't age to death within a few years. And then the ones that are part of Vader's fist, and them trying to figure out how to get out and get to Mandalore.
Right.
And of course, with their missing brother Sev. Because, spoiler, if you've not played Republic Commando, Sev, sniper, psychopath, and just kind of one of the big parts of Delta Squad, does go missing. I'm not going to tell you how. You got to play that game.
Play the game and find out.
But
That brings me to something else that's coming out in Hampton today, actually.
oh yeah.
And
Speaking of Clone Commandos,
yeah,
the Bad Batch.
the Bad Batch comes out tonight. Actually,
So-
it should be out already. I'm going to go home and watch it as soon as I get home.
I probably will be doing the same. So the whole point of the Bad Batch, as I understand, is it's a group of clone commandos.
Yep.
And I'm not sure when it's supposed to take place. That's the only thing I really don't know.
It takes place during the Clone Wars.
Even
Yep. So it is your side story to the Clone Wars.
amazing.
So you had the Clone Wars series,
Right.
and then you're going to have the Bad Batch. The Bad Batch will eventually fall into the Clone Wars. Because you
Gotcha.
do see them in the Clone Wars,
Right.
but it's not till later on in the seasons. It's like season 7 before you even see them. So and up until season 7, this is what the Bad Batch is doing, and they got their
Gotcha.
own series off of it.
Well, that's amazing.
Yep. So I'm super excited about that.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So the new trilogy possibly going to be the Legends canon,
Yep.
which all the old stuff Disney said we're not getting rid of it.
Yep.
It's just going to be what's called Legends canon,
Yep.
which means that it's an alternate timeline. And then they took their new timeline going forward.
Which should be super cool.
Well, from the sound of it, especially with the things we have lined up with some of the new stuff, we're getting a Mara Jade Skywalker series back when she's still the Emperor's hand. Now, for people that haven't read the books, Mara Jade is an assassin, and her primary goal, even after Vader is dead, is to kill Luke Skywalker. She was trained as a Sith assassin,
Right.
and that's her entire goal. Luke turns her around. He is like, there's more to life than just doing what you're told to do. And lo and behold, they end up getting married, having a kid named Ben.
Oh, don't. No.
So this brings me to my point of contention with the new trilogy. Kylo Ren, or as he's known, Ben Solo, and Rey are like the perfect character representation of Han and Luke, or Han and Leia's kids, Jason and Jaina Solo.
Yeah.
They're twins.
Yeah.
Now, they're a major part of the expanded universe's lore. And what I'm hoping is that if they do go in the direction of going with the original expanded universe, we will get to see a good, honest representation of them. Because Adam Driver did an amazing job as Jason Solo,
Yeah.
not Ben.
Yeah.
Ben is a Skywalker.
Yeah.
Luke names Ben after his mentor, old Ben Kenobi.
Yep. Obi-Wan.
And it's one of those that Rey, her personality is spot on for Jaina.
But
I
not Rey.
remember going and seeing episode 7 in theaters. I was super excited. So excited. And then we get to the point where Han confronts Kylo. And he just yells, Ben! And I stop. I look at my fiance and I was like, I'm no longer happy with this movie. She was like, you were super excited about this. I'm not.
Not
Not
anymore.
anymore. Why? I've got a set of books that I need you to read, and you'll understand why. I had her read that series of books about Jason, his fall to the dark side, and him becoming Darth Caedus. And then we watched episode 7 again after that, and it just hit her. She was like, wow, that is some BS.
Yeah.
And for a lot of the people that knew the expanded universe, super frustrated with that.
Right.
So that's why I'm hoping that they do go in this direction of making the expanded universe the primary universe and make the new trilogy be its own spinoff for like an alternate timeline.
Which
I would
be
love
cool.
to see that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And like that's why I'm thinking the Mara Jade series will do that.
Which I'm
And-
hoping for. We can hope. Fingers crossed.
Now, have you heard of who is rumored to be picking up that role?
No.
Hey, Bronze Panda, you have won the web credits.
Hey, Bronze Panda.
Congratulations, my dude.
Congratulations, man.
So, for who is rumored for it, she's a nice Scottish actress by the name of Karen Gillan.
Really?
Yep. Now, for any of my Whovians that are watching, you know her as Amy Pond. For anyone that is a big fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you better know her as Nebula.
Yeah.
So the thing is, we already know she can do Stone Cold Murderer.
She's stone cold. She come out drinking beer.
Where's my cane? I need to cane me someone. So, of course, when it comes down to it, there's just a lot going on with the Star Wars universe. We've got the new series. We've got new movies. I'm totally looking forward to Rogue Squadron. Oh my god.
Yes, dude. Rogue Squadron should be great.
Rogue Squadron is going to be amazing. Nothing but question marks on Rangers of the Republic. 'Cause
Yeah,
we don't know if that's going to continue or not.
There's the droid story coming out too.
Yep, droid story.
Which should be interesting because you just get to follow the life of a droid.
Oh yeah, which is, in my opinion, it's going to be a nice diversion from the typical Star Wars.
Yes,
Um,
I agree.
Now, of course, I've been talking about, one of the big video games that just got its remaster. I want to talk about probably it's not what put BioWare on the scene, but it definitely helped to really put them in the spotlight. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
Yes.
So,
Old Republic's great.
Knights of the Old Republic is not getting a remaster. It's getting a full remake. And as someone who absolutely loved Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2,
Yep.
and did way too many playthroughs on both of them, I will say, I love the old system for Knights of the Old Republic 1. It's good that it's getting a remake.
Yep.
So, do you understand how that system works?
Yeah.
Do you?
I mean, in a way, yeah.
Did you know that it was essentially just a D20 system? And it was...
Really? I didn't know that.
He didn't actually know
Okay,
how the
I didn't
game
know
worked.
that.
So it turns out Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 were based on the Star Wars RPG, the D20 setting.
Yeah.
And you can actually go into your battle log and look at how combat wins.
Yeah.
And turns out everything operates in rounds. You have initiative, you have dice rolls to see if you hit, how much damage you do. You have your defense, which translates as armor class. And you have your special attacks, which can increase your damage while lowering your chance to hit.
Yeah.
Much like, you know, cleave, power strike,
Right.
anything like that. And like when it comes down to it, it used all the same dice: D20, 12, 8, the 10s,
Okay, I
D100.
didn't know that.
Yeah, no,
I had no idea about that at all.
it is full on a D20 system.
That is awesome.
So the fact that they're giving it a remake,
Yeah.
like a full remake, I hope they overhaul the system.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see that come back, but at the same time, I understand how frustrating it can be.
Right.
Believe me, I know, been there, I've done that. Don't get me started on Morrowind and the fact that it's a D10 system.
That's for a different show.
Yeah.
That's for our video game show.
So when it comes down to it, I'm thinking that, at least what I'm hoping, is that they're going to go more in line with kind of Fallen Order's gameplay style.
Yeah.
In that it is going to be a hack and slash style
Yeah.
kind of Star Wars game. Because we don't have enough of those. Not good ones. We have Force Unleashed.
Yep.
We're not going to talk about its sequel because, let's be honest, the story was bad. The gameplay was worse than the first one.
I don't want to talk
and
about
there was
that.
like 2 years in
That
between
was,
them.
that game was rough.
So just when it comes down to it, this is, at least for me, my most anticipated game coming out within like the next couple years.
Yeah.
So a lot of hopes there. I don't remember the name of the studio that's handling it. I want to say it's Aspire, which if it is, they've done an amazing job on the remaster for Republic Commando.
Yep.
And I have no complaints. When it comes down to it, a lot of interesting things are happening with Star Wars right now.
Oh, yeah.
We've got all the new series coming up.
Yep.
We have Mandalorian Season 3 later this year.
Yep.
I want to see what happens now that, you know, things have happened.
Oh, yeah. And I can't wait to just see like how Star Wars is going to continue to advance within the coming years. Because like, who would have thought back in the 70s and 80s that it would have been as big as it is now?
Who would have thought back, you know, after Episode 6 ended, that Boba Fett would get his own series?
Yeah, exactly.
Not me. I completely fangirled at the end of Season 2 of Mandalorian, and it's just like, to be continued in the Book of Boba. I'm just like...
But, guys, we're kind of getting scrapped for time.
We didn't realize we could talk enough to turn this into like a 3 or 4 hour
and
show.
we have somebody handing, what is it? Hampton, what is that?
Something that pays me more than what you do.
Hampton, no, wait, Hampton, what are you doing? Hampton,
I'm going to work.
you're at work. Hampton, Hampton, okay, well, I just lost my co-host. Anyway, guys, before I go, I guess he's going to go do some bounty hunting. I don't know. But anyway, guys, upcoming shows for this week. Tomorrow, we have Drew's Poker Shop. He's coming back. He's ready for you guys. You just seen him on camera. He's got something special planned. I know what it is. I'm not going to give it away because that's his show. I'm not doing that. And on Thursday, we have Troll versus Toad. Finally, we'll be able to finish up our first round with Jace versus David. So make sure you guys stick around for that. Then after that, we have the Fish Tank, and Fish is so excited to get back in here for you guys. Oh, yeah. And we have a debut of a painting stream that Hampton's going to be doing on Thursday evening. I think we're going to try to shoot for that around 6 p.m., I think around that time. And on Fridays, make sure that you guys stick around for Jeremy and his magic show. And oh yeah, that makes me forget. Also on Wednesdays, I always forget it. Logan and Kelly, the man who's normally behind the camera, have a show at 6 p.m. on Wednesdays. They do their own standard magic show. It's actually really entertaining. You guys should watch it. But anyway, going back to Friday. Friday we have Jeremy and his expanded commander decks that he usually builds. And then on Friday we have the Yu-Gi-Oh! Super Show at 6 p.m. Make sure you guys stick around for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Super Show on Friday. It's hilarious. JT's a big meme. And then on Saturday, we are doing another collectible show. Yes, me and Hampton are working twice this week to put on entertainment for you guys. We are making sure that we are trying to keep entertainment as good for you guys and try to keep our schedule the best we can. So we don't know what we got exactly planned out yet, but it should be good. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it. And then make sure on Saturday that you guys stick around after the collectible show for the D&D stream. We're doing episode 7, I believe. Episode 6 of D&D. So make sure you guys stick around. We will be returning with that. And guys, I just want to leave you guys on a serious note. I know that we have actually had a lot of fun today, but I do want to dedicate this show to one of my friends that passed away last year around this time. It's actually 2 days before her death date. She was one of my best friends who loved Star Wars. I really miss her a lot, and I hope wherever she's at and she's watching that she's proud of me over this show. So I just want to leave you guys on that. But I'm dedicating this show to her because I know this is something that she would have really enjoyed herself. So, guys, until next time, take it easy. And this is Chris, my co-host, gone. But, guys, take it easy, and we'll see y'all later.